Hello, how's it going? My name is Jake. Welcome to another kind of talking head video. I'm just going to be kind of talking about something that I've been wanting to make a video about. I wasn't really sure how to do it. I really don't want this channel to be me complaining about things in the film photography world because, my opinion doesn't matter any more than anyone else's. But this is something that I've been kind of had on my mind that I thought I should share with people because I haven't really seen anyone else say this. For the most part, it's not that it's that bad, but I just feel like it should be said. We're going to be talking about the Heyday 35mm camera and similar cameras to it that have been on the market this past year. We're talking about the Kodak Ultra F9, the Ilford Sprite 2, as well as Kodak has some other models that are all kind of these point and shoot, really cheap 35mm cameras. And I want to talk about those because I don't think that you should buy one. So, as I was saying, I don't think that you should be buying these cameras, and we're going to get into that here today. Again, I want to preface by saying I don't want this channel to be somewhere where I'm constantly moaning and groaning and complaining about things that are coming out in the world of 35mm film. The reason why I want to make this video is because I see a lot of people making videos stating that these cameras are amazing for people looking to learn to shoot film, learning how to shoot film. Yes and no. And again, we'll get into that a little bit more. I can say that I have not shot with these cameras. I own this Heyday 35mm camera. I bought this at my local Target, right? So I acknowledge the fact that I have not shot with all these cameras. I haven't even shot a full roll on this camera, and I'll talk about that here in a second. So take my opinion with a grain of salt, right? I like to go by the notion of one does not speak unless one knows, but we've seen cameras like these before. Again, we'll talk about all of that here in a second. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. If you want to see a great review of a couple of these cameras, Max Kent, I'll link his video down below, has a great review on the Kodak Ultra F9 and the Ilford Sprite 2, where he talks about some of the issues that he has with his cameras, what he thinks about them, what's good, what's bad. I like his video a lot, so go check that out. But a lot of the videos that I'm seeing on these cameras are talking about some of the issues that they might have, and they're kind of glossing over them, saying that these are still fantastic cameras to use if you're learning to use 35mm film. And I disagree with that statement simply because this camera, while yes, it is a point and shoot, there are no settings. All you have to do is choose your ISO film. I think this one recommends a 400 or 800 ISO film. There's no other settings besides turning your flash on and off. The one that I have, and I've seen other people have the same issue, the flash stays on no matter what. Even if you turn it off, the flash goes off for every single photo. So you don't even technically have that setting sometimes, depending on if yours works properly or not. My main issue with that, the fact that it's so simple and there's no settings, is that there's nothing to learn from it. There's nothing to learn about whether what you like shooting, how you like shooting, or what settings that you like to shoot at. Now, I'm not saying for your first camera to go out and buy a Pentax K1000 that is fully manual. While that is a fantastic camera to learn how to use manual settings on, I'm not saying that you need to go out and buy one of those to learn how to shoot 35mm film. What I am saying is that there are other point and shoot 35mm film cameras like this, like let's say, like the Olympus point and shoots, the Minolta Freedom line, the Nikon Light Touch line. There's a lot of cameras that are seemingly the same, that are just simply point and shoot, that have, whether it's, a zoom lens where you have different focal length options, or it has a panoramic mode where you can change up your composition a little bit. It at least is going to have a couple of settings that you are able to change that gives you a little bit of a more dynamic range of options for your, whether, again, like I said, composition or focal length or anything like that. Not only that, they're going to have actual glass lenses. These have plastic lenses, so you're going to get better quality images. Film is kind of expensive for the most part nowadays. If you're shooting color film and you're developing yourself, it's really expensive. If you're shooting black and white, it can be cheaper and it can be easier. But no matter what, film is a dying somewhat medium, right? It's been dying since digital came out, but it's still a loved medium, which means that it's going to be a little expensive. Wasting your money on shooting film in one of these is not something that I suggest. I would much rather suggest you get a camera that is, one, going to last you longer, that has a better build quality. These are built like a McDonald's toy, and I wholeheartedly mean that. I'll put a picture up of one right here. McDonald's, when the movie Spy Kids came out, some of you might remember this, had a point and shoot camera like this. It didn't use 35. I think it used not 110. It's a really, I don't even remember the type of film. They don't really do a whole lot of it anymore. It's this really small film strip. Anyways, it was a real point and shoot film camera. This feels the same quality. But guess what? This was $35. The Ilford Sprite, I think, is $40, and the Kodak ones are anywhere from $40 to $50. That's a lot of money to ask for a McDonald's toy. That's what I'm getting at, is you are much better off spending your money elsewhere. You can get a better camera than this and buy 1 or 2 rolls of film for the same price as this, okay? Okay, I want to make a quick interjection here. Sorry for the jarring cut here, but I want to talk about these cameras right in front of me, okay? Like I just mentioned, you can spend your money elsewhere and you're going to have a better experience with film photography, and you're going to have a camera that's going to last you far longer. So let's talk about these 4 cameras. In front of me, I have, what is this? This is my, it's my Agfa Select SL. I haven't even used this camera yet, okay? I've got my Nikon Light Touch, little point and shoot. This is a rangefinder that also has a built-in light meter. Completely manual, does not take a battery, but it has a light meter, okay? I've got my Nikon N2000. This does not have autofocus, it's manual focus, but it does have aperture priority. It has program mode. It has a light meter built inside. It's fantastic, okay? Nice, easy camera to use. I've got my Ricoh 500, fully manual, does not have a light meter, but it is a fantastic, well-built, good quality rangefinder on a budget. All of these cameras are cheaper than any of these 35mm point and shoots that we're talking about, the Heyday, the Kodaks, and the Ilfords. These are all cheaper than those cameras. Not only that, all 4 of these combined, I got for cheaper than any of these cameras. Whether it's the Heyday, that's $35. This Ricoh, I got for $15. This Nikon, I got for $10. This Nikon, I got for $5. And this this Agfa, I got for $10. So what does that up to? 25. So $45. So it's a little bit more expensive than the Heyday. But what I'm saying is, all these cameras are vintage. All these cameras I found at garage sales, I found at thrift stores, and I found on Mercari. Okay, sorry about that. Again, a little bit of a tangent, but I wanted to show again what you are able to spend your money on instead of spending it on one of these. Now, again, I was saying there's nothing to learn from these cameras. That's okay for some people. Some people just want a camera that is easily accessible to them, that they can buy, throw a roll of film into, and they can shoot with. But there's a couple issues with this. Now, I'm going to say this specific Heyday, the one that I have. I can't speak on the other ones. I have not handheld one of those, yet. And I don't plan to. I'm not going to waste my money on those, to be completely honest. But I bought this camera with the intention of reviewing it. I have not been able to actually even shoot with it yet, because for some reason, I can't get the film to spool on it. It'll spool for the first wind, it'll lose traction, it'll stop spooling. I can't even get a first image off of this thing. Not only that, like I said, the flash will go off for every single time that I hit the trigger. I can't even get a roll of film into this thing. So I'm not even able to review it. So if you're saying, well, but Jake, this camera is easy access. You can go to Target and you can buy one and you can have a film camera in hand same day. That's completely fine. In theory, I'm totally for that. I'm completely for that. But when the camera doesn't work, right? Then you don't have a camera that you can use right out the gate the second that you buy it. Not only that, Target doesn't sell 35mm film. That's my biggest issue. If the camera worked, that's fine. But they don't even sell 35mm film. So, and again, I love Target. I shop at Target all the time. This shirt is a Target brand, right? So I'm not saying I hate Target. I'm not saying that Target is horrible for selling one of these. What I'm saying is that if they're gonna sell 35mm cameras, and the same thing goes for like the Five Below film that I reviewed previously, if they're gonna sell 35mm cameras, they need to sell 35mm film. If they're gonna sell anything that's 35mm, they need to make sure it's up to par and it's decent quality, because this camera is not worth $35. So I kind of already showed some of the alternatives. Obviously, I had some of my personal collection here on the table, okay? Again, I'm not saying that Mercari is a fantastic place to go buy used cameras, but in my opinion, it's a fantastic place to go buy used cameras. People sell cameras that they might not know a whole lot about for very, very cheap. Again, my Ricoh 500 I got for $15. That's the most recent camera that I can think of that I got off of Mercari, but I have a couple screenshots. I scrolled through Mercari last night. I set my filter price to below $40, and I have a couple examples here. I'll throw them up on my side right here. First one, vintage Minolta film camera, exclamation points, $19 with $5 shipping, okay? It's a Minolta Freedom Zoom 70C, okay? It's got a 35 to 70 millimeter, 3.5 to 6.5 lens, okay? Right out the gate, it's a point and shoot, right? It's a camera that you can throw a roll of film into. You don't have to play with settings, but you at least have your zoom lens option. You have a better aperture. You're gonna have sharper images. Right out the gate, it's half the price of most of these cameras, and it's going to be a camera with a better build quality, better image quality, and a better user experience out the gate. Again, I only saved screenshots of ones that said that they were tested and working. I'm not going to go ahead and screenshot ones that say, you know, untested or whatever. I want ones that I could buy right now, and 99.9% of the time, they're going to work without issue, right? Mercari also has a great return policy if there's any issues. So again, use that information as you will. On to the next one, Ricoh Shotmaster Film Camera Ultra Zoom Super with case. This is a great one as well, a 38 to 80 millimeter macro lens. Again, it's just a point and shoot, $29, $7 shipping. Again, cheaper than all of these cameras. Nikon Zoom Touch 600 35 millimeter point and shoot black film camera with box, great shape. So it comes with the box. The thing's practically brand new. $30 with $10 shipping. That's a little bit more than this one, but it's still cheaper than all the other ones, okay? And again, you're gonna have one that's gonna have better image quality, better build quality, and everything else in between, okay? eBay is also a great place to find some used cameras. Now, eBay, you're gonna see cameras going for typically the main retail, you know, that's where the prices are really dignified, I would say. Mercari, you're gonna find some cheaper options, again, because not everyone's going and looking at what the base, you know, market value for a lot of these cameras are. They might be selling them for a little bit cheaper. The only reason that I like purchasing cameras off of eBay sometimes is because especially if you order cameras from Japan, a lot of the times those are being sold by professional camera companies, right? Or camera stores that service these cameras, that make sure that every single bell and whistle is working. Not only that, they go into great detail about the things that are wrong with the camera, the things that work with the camera, and everything else, so that you know exactly what you're getting into. It might be a little bit more money, but you know exactly what you're getting, and you know what you're getting yourself into, right? So we're gonna try to wrap this thing up here because I've been talking for a little while, okay? Again, if you wanna go buy one of these cameras, that's completely fine. The Target one, I can say for a fact, do not buy. I don't recommend this camera. One, because mine doesn't even work properly. I've seen several other people who they've had similar issues, whether it's the winder not, you know, again, it's not catching the leads on the film roll, and it's just not working properly, okay? Which then leads you to possibly going online and ordering any of the Ilford or Kodak ones. But then you're already having to go online and order the camera and order film, and it's not going to be at your home with you immediately. So go somewhere else and spend your money elsewhere. And again, I'm a huge fan of Ilford. I use Ilford products for years, whether it's their film, whether it's their developers, or whether it's their enlargement papers. I've used Ilford for years. Again, they were just kind of probably making a cheap, easy point and shoot film camera that, you know, can be on the market in today's day. Obviously, they're not going to throw a ton of money into these cameras because they're not going to see a good return. These cameras probably cost them $1 to make a piece, and they're selling them for $40 to $50. It's kind of a ripoff. It's kind of a ripoff. Again, I'm not trying to hate on these companies. I love these companies, you know? Again, I love Target, I love Kodak, I love Ilford, but I don't see these cameras being a viable option. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. Again, you can take that as you will. You can have a different opinion. That's completely fine. If you want to say that I'm stupid down in the comments, by all means, go for it. But what I'm just trying to make this video for is someone who's possibly looking at these cameras as their first camera to use shooting 35mm. You're going to have a better experience elsewhere. You're going to learn more about shooting film or shooting manually by getting a different camera, and that camera is going to last you a lot longer. I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, or if you had a good experience with one of these cameras, let me know down below. If you think I'm wrong on a couple things, again, let me know down below. I'd love to hear your opinions. Again, this was just something that I've been wanting to talk about. Again, my opinion does not matter. So again, take it with a grain of salt. But if you're looking into buying one of these, heed my warning. Take some of my suggestions. Go elsewhere and look at other cameras before jumping into one of these. You're going to have to go online and buy film anyways. You're not going to be able to shoot with it right out the gate. So go on Mercari, go on eBay, go on Facebook Marketplace, go to your local thrift stores, or go to garage sales or antique stores. You're probably going to find a camera that works that's far cheaper than this. And like I said, you could buy probably 5 cameras for cheaper than this. And you're going to have a couple different options to shoot with, opposed to being limited to this McDonald's quality toy, okay? Again, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you didn't, let me know what you didn't enjoy about it down below. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, if you use one of these cameras and you have a good experience with it, again, let me know in the comments down below. These are just my opinions, guys. I just wanted to put this out there just to see what other people thought or maybe had to say. So I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you have a great one.